what you don't.
Things have been really good. I haven't gotten out of bed in 3 days. Why do I look like I haven't seen anyone in the last 2 weeks? I've washed my hair. I'm wearing makeup. Is it my eyes? Should I smile bigger?
Composing myself has become harder and harder, like a child who can't sit still.
My home has gone from place of relaxation, center of being, and drifted from all that eat, pray, love bullshit into something I long to escape from, despite not being able to go anywhere. Nothing to escape to.
Everything happens for a reason. We go on, we grow, things get better. I believe that because what's the point in believing otherwise? Something good will come from this. I know it.
I'm here, I'm alone. When fear lost its novelty but kept me stuck inside, I was left with stifled anxiety, constant boredom, and waiting. How long will I keep waiting? Hey guys.
Hey!
Hey!
I was left with stifled anxiety, constant boredom, and waiting. How long will I keep waiting? Pictures in a perfect row on the screen.
Classmates in cubicles.
Hey guys.
Classmates and picture frames.
Hey! Classmates without the classroom.
I was
Can you rearrange the order? We can make it line up with all the seats like we had in class.
Does it matter?
I just wanted to make things familiar, make things feel more like before. I mean, we all used to face a professor, and now I face everyone, and you all face me. It's odd. It's aggressive. It doesn't feel right.
I see what you're saying. I know it's silly, but seeing my face so close to all of yours, it's easier for me to pretend I'm there with you. Like we're back and everything is normal.
It reminds me of looking at a picture, and as you look, you feel a bit of the emotion that you had from before.
A feeling like proximity that is so much easier and safer to achieve. Hey everyone! It's been so long since I've seen all of y'all. Oh my god, Sam, did you get your hair cut? It looks so good. We're on mute. Alrighty then.
An awkward silence. An isolation I impose, that I come out of with the click of a button.
coming into a meeting only to sit in silence. Everyone wanting to say something, but no one's brave enough to actually say it.
Did everyone freeze?
I know you're there because every now and then I see you move, or, oh, you blinked.
It's like a performance. You're on stage, but no one turned on your mic.
It's like a performance. One that hasn't started yet.
It's like a performance. What you say and what you don't.
Things have been really good. I haven't gotten out of bed in 3 days.
School's been going well. When I can actually get myself to do any kind of work.
Classes are just a little different. School's the only time I get to see my friends, and I'm scared to be alone.
I hold it all in. But at some point, you get sick of silence, the thing that you become far too acquainted with, and let your voice be heard. Hey guys, so I was thinking, Oh, Cass, go ahead.
Andy, it's not that important. Go ahead. It was
No,
done.
no, you're so good.
Andy, oh my God, Andy, please.
Damn, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I like your jean jacket.
Thank you.
Do you guys see the moon last night? It was like completely full.
Beautiful. Oh my God.
How can I make you feel my love from so far away?
Where I used to hug, kiss, and hold.
Now all I can do is click, type, and emote.
This is intimacy.
I pin you to my screen till it fills my vision.
I place myself as close as possible to the pixels.
It's like you're here.
This is connection. I compose myself in a frame. I speak, and the computer listens and responds in your voice.
You look and sound so different, but I can't tell if you're just sad or if you have a really shitty computer camera. This sucks, but I'll take it. I'll devour it and keep coming back for more.
Like passing notes.
But more efficient.
Less likely to get caught.
Like sneaking out the back door. Your attention is wandering.
Like thieves, you still laugh, smiles, and glances between each other.
We think we're so slick, like no one can see us in the camera acting like fools.
Thick as thieves, partners in crime.
I would never do this in a normal class, but I'm so desperate for connection.
So I send you a message with 12 eyes, followed by the word miss, and then 14 U's with a heart emoji.
No offense to our professor or anything, but it's just too tempting.
This ability to talk between, to see someone's eyes light up when you message them.
An attempt to suppress a smile. To keep your wits about you over the endorphin rush of a secret message.
Our classrooms had backroom interaction that kept us alive.
I like to think the professors know.
I like to think that they were happy to provide that.
Don't you just smell all the flowers?
All the flowers are dead here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Man.
I'm about to go roast some s'mores. Does anybody want one?
Yeah, I'll take one right here.
Pass one over.
Oh, taxi! Oh man, passing by.
Who needs legs when you have a computer?
The internet is a vehicle for any place outside this room.
My mouse! A finger that touches the world I can't.
Ah, I love the ocean this time of year. It's so warm and not inside.
Oh, I have an idea. Woo! Refreshing.
Now, the beach is nice and all, but I prefer camping.
Yeah.
It smells like...
Lysol. Stale air. The last meal I microwaved.
Wow. I miss nature.
This song slaps.
You guys, I can hear the drums.
I can feel the beat.
They say that people's heartbeats sync together when they listen to the same music. Do you think that happens over Zoom?
Heartbeats linked across cities.
Heartbeats across states.
Heartbeats linked across oceans.
Heartbeats linked through a screen. This is what we have.
I have something to show you.
Like show and tell?
I want to bring you something important from my life and present it to you as a gift.
I may not be able to take you out to dinner.
Or a movie.
Or hold you close at night.
What? I can share a video between us. Make some popcorn and watch your face in the corner just as much as the movie.
Don't talk too much.
Just enough to let me know you're there. That we're watching something together again. Just like before.
I can't articulate in words what they mean to me. So I try to show it in my actions. I text them whenever something funny reminds me of them. I show up to the Zoom calls even when I am so sick and tired of video chatting. I'll do anything to make the distance seem less severe. I miss them so much. I want them to know how much they mean to me.
I'm tired of pretending that things are okay. And I know that you're not okay. And I want to be there for you. There's nothing I want more than to hold you right now. But I can't. So I send you the things that make me smile. Because if I can't support you in person, I'll do it over the phone. I'll send you text messages and cute pictures and videos that make me laugh. I miss you, but at least I can have you this way.
He's a strong guy. He keeps telling me he will be all right, and my family has been trying to make sure that we stay away. I can't even see him. I hear him cough, and we leave stuff outside his door, but I just can't keep thinking about how scary it all must be. Being alone. I'm scared of being alone. So I call you, and I fall asleep on call to the sound of your breathing.
We weren't there, but we came back and everything was trashed. But there was nothing to find. They left with only $25 in cash and some jewelry. You forget that there are other things in the world to be afraid of. I mean, it's terrifying to realize that the world isn't any less chaotic because there's a pandemic. Still, I put my best face forward, and lately it's been easier to smile, especially when I'm with you.
Things haven't been great, but there really isn't anything to say. I just feel this general melancholy. It's been shitty and all, but these calls and being with you guys makes it feel better. I may not tell you, but just hearing your voices and feeling some sense of normalcy makes it so much easier. So thank you.
You hear me?
Cass, I think she's frozen. Can anybody else
I
hear
can't hear you at all. Try disconnecting and then reconnecting again.
She's
No.
frozen. Can you hear her?
No, try to turn off your video.
I tried that.
Yes, we can't hear you.
God.
It's being taken away. That's what this is. Like everything is being taken away all over again. Like everything is being taken away again. the world is out of my control. Like I'm at mercy to everyone and everything again. It's like being dangled over the edge of a cliff. I don't want to be alone. This is all I have left, and I'm even losing that. I'm tired of pretending like everything is fine, that I'm okay, that I'm happy. I'm not. Everything is miserable. I'm suffocating.
Zoom always cuts.
I want to get out.
She's frozen. Can anybody
They're
else?
everywhere but here. I tried to. This is connecting.
Fine lines of
It's not fair.
pixelated
Wait, I
squares.
feel afraid. I tried to.
This
This is
I will
happening.
turn my
There's nowhere to
camera
run.
on.
It's not fair. No escape. I feel afraid and trapped all the time, but there's nowhere to run to. No escape.
What's new?
I just want this whole pandemic to be over.
I feel like I'm in timeout.
I don't like how quiet it all is.
I just want something to acknowledge that I exist.
I miss the intense comfort I get from seeing them all move, talk, and breathe. To know somewhere, even if it's not here, that they're safe.
I may bitch and complain that it isn't the same, but there won't be anything close to normal in months.
You don't know what you have till you lose it. Now I've lost you twice. But now I think I understand. I understand that I want you. Any portion of you, even one that I can't hold.
It was classes, and then it was working inside of groups outside of class, and before I knew it, we were celebrating birthdays and playing drinking games in front of a laptop.
Every day we're redefining what's normal. Wearing masks, always 6 feet apart, and loving someone through a computer screen.
On a typical day, I have my online classes, then I go on a Zoom date, then I have my Netflix parties, and of course I have to take care of my Animal Crossing village. It sounds like gibberish.
Somewhere, somehow, I adapted. We took these screens and turned them into frames holding the things we love but can't have right now.
Concerts. Community. Classes. Companionship.
I didn't know what to think of Zoom at first. Certainly took some time to get used to, but now I'm just thankful that I can still talk to the people that I love.
Do you know what? They should give us a digital literacy credit for when the pandemic is over. I've come a long way, guys.
Well, we've kind of been preparing for this our whole lives.
Do you ever wonder how things are going to be when all of this is over?
People are going to be really sick of looking at their computer screens by then.
By then.
Seeing other people after all of this time is gonna feel magical.
After we all get used to not running 6 feet away from each other.
After everything, it'll be crazy to just
Packed parties where there are frat boys all over the place. You see your friend in the back and you have to cross a warm sea of camaraderie and noise and sweat to get to them.
being able to walk in a park, to pet a dog, to greet strangers as they pass by, recognizing the hidden struggles that we've all faced, comforted by knowing that we're not alone in this roller coaster we call life.
Relishing in the beauty of being close to someone. So close you can see the little freckles on their nose. Just to hold them warm and cozy in my tiny little dorm bed without any fear of what's going on outside. Without guilt and hesitance. I can move closer and touch, hold, maybe kiss.
You know what? Once it's safe, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm Gonna go sit in restaurants, go out to bars, and never take my ability to move freely in this world for granted again.
I am so ready for the whole world to have this weight lifted off of its shoulders. I'm so excited for everything to just be calm again. I'm going to be really excited when we don't have to be scared of just being with each other.
We can't stop striving for those things, dreaming of the day that they return, but neither can we let it hold us back. Our dreams for the future shouldn't make it any harder to live in the present. Until then, why don't we watch a movie together tonight? Any suggestions? Text me when y'all are free and we'll schedule a Zoom. Seriously.
Alrighty. Bye.
I am so incredibly grateful to have all of you guys.
In spite of this pandemic, we have this.
Heartbeats that we feel through a screen.
Miracle that occurs over Zoom.
Till the day we are together again.
Why do I look like I
All right. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us through those technical issues. Wow. I mean, I feel like wow is all that I can say after seeing that. That was such an amazing thing to watch. I'm so proud that I'm able to be hosting and officiating this question and answers, because it really brings me a lot of joy just to see how creative everyone was able to be, how you guys were able to put this together still through everything and really make a meaningful piece of art. Thank you sincerely before we get everything started. Once again, if you're just now tuning in or if you've been here the whole time, my name is Devin Karp. I'm going to be the host, administrating and emceeing some of the questions that we're going to have. If you have any questions for any of the actors, for any of our wonderful stage manager, Taylor, and for our writer and director, Wren, please put them in the chat of whatever respective platform you're using. We would love to have them, and we'd love to have a great discussion about this. Now, before we get started, I was wondering if we could go around our panel of amazing, talented cast and crew and maybe say your name, your major, and what your favorite thing about the performance was so far.
Perfect. Andrew, as director, or as an actor, I guess I was directing you to go first.
Sure. My name is Andrew Walker. I was an actor in the What We Have production, and I am a poli-sci major and sociology major. Was there something else?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite part.
Andrew said none.
Being in all of it was my favorite part.
Great. Wren?
Yeah, so my name's Wren Ramos. I'm a theater and communication major here at Trinity Junior. Let's see, my favorite part of the show was really just working with the cast. There's something about this particular piece, but most of theater that I really enjoy is so collaborative. And there was whole segments where some of it was improvised or the actors wrote out their own segments of the script. And I felt like it was those pieces that really just made the script come alive. So getting to watch that was probably the most fulfilling thing I've ever experienced when creating something.
Wow. Love to hear it. Taylor?
So my name is Taylor. I'm a junior biology major at Trinity, and I would have to say my favorite part is having an excuse to see everyone. It was a really awkward, weird time, so it was kind of like weird to be like, hey, let's Zoom, or I want to see your face. So it was really nice just like seeing a lot of people that I'm friends with and seeing them on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for helping with this. And for anyone listening in, this was an amazing collective effort put together by all the students as well as the Student Programming Board. And we're here to help the community. Tonight, we are going to be fundraising for the two wonderful organizations that we are with. We are with the Emergent Fund, who is helping buy POC people within the San Antonio community that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the SA COVID Relief Fund, which is helping the general San Antonio population dealing with this. First off, I just like to ask a question for Wren. How did all of this come together? What was it like to start the contest during the pandemic?
It was actually, it kind of all came together because of just, the playwriting competition happened right in the middle of the spring semester. So the pandemic had already happened and it was like we had all been sent back. So I was already writing a lot because I was kind of alone in my Trinity dorm. I was one of the few people who like stayed on campus. And so there wasn't much to do except really write, and writing has always been like a really important part of how I kind of cope and understand my own feelings about things. So whenever I was just dealing with all of this, I was like, there's a playwriting competition. I don't even know what to write. And I rewrote maybe like 3 different scripts, and I didn't end up with any of them. And then I was like, I don't feel like I'm forcing it too much. And so the most pressing thing on my mind was just kind of what was happening. And so I used all of those experiences of what it was like to just be alone, but also not alone because I was seeing people in Zoom classes every day, and just what it felt like to try and understand all that.
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, you did such a great job of really encapsulating a lot of the student experiences that we've had so far. At least I believe so. I've definitely related to those Zoom issues. We're trying to talk to someone, but you don't want to talk over them, but you don't want to be rude in class, but you still want to say what you need to say.
Yeah.
Definitely relatable. And yes, I do hope the university will let us get our digital literacy credit once this is done. Andrew, Taylor, do you guys kind of feel the same way about everything that's been happening with Zoom culture, Trinity Zoom culture?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's every day is a new thing that you're learning, and it kind of does feel like being alone because you're in the same classes, you see the same people visually, but there's none of that like little classroom chitter chatter when you walk into a room or like saying hi to somebody that you want to say hi to because then everyone can hear you. It's like wearing a microphone at all times, and it just definitely changes the dynamic. That's my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of us as actors for this production had real life training for the 3 months, leading up to this.
It was
because. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Wren.
No. I was just gonna make a bad joke. I was like, you all were method actors during this.
I mean,
really intensive.
Yeah, because Wren did an excellent job of capturing like the essence of what it's like to maintain relationships over Zoom. And so like all of us have kind of done this already, because it was so similar to real experiences of the awkwardness of Zoom at first, and how classes work very differently than what they did, a couple months prior. And then kind of this development into being more comfortable in this new normal. Yeah, so for sure, definitely different, but it was not a challenging acting experience because we had already lived it so recently.
Yeah, really a lot of background information you were able to get. Like Wren said, put it best, y'all were definitely method actors through that. Wren, I know that you said that you had written before and it was a really great exercise to help you. What was it like writing for Zoom specifically, for this format, for the way you were going to film it, for the way it was going to be put together? How did that work for you?
Oh, that's really funny. So just to set it up, I had written the play to be staged entirely. I thought, okay, so here's the funny thing about it. I was like, okay, this will be so good. And like if I didn't even consider winning, but I was like, if I did actually have to do it, because I actually thought like somebody from staff was gonna do it, and I didn't think I would ever have my hands on directing it. But I was like, well, I can see this being on stage once the pandemic's over, come the fall. It'll be great. It'll be great, like past piece. And then we did it over the summer and it wasn't staged and it was over Zoom. And so there was this big pivot that came afterwards, after I had jumped on as director, where I was like, how do I spin this? And I think the fun part of that was kind of just going into Zoom rehearsals and being like, how can we try and capture this feeling? Because a lot of it was, it was going to be seeing people in person and remembering that distance. But now it's very different if you're watching it on Zoom and you feel that distance and we're still going through it. So at that point, it became, how do we just get everything together? How do we use Zoom to talk not about Zoom?
Right, right. Now, Taylor, I have to ask the question, how do you stage manage when there's not a stage? What was different from this compared to some of the more, probably I'll say usual productions that you've done in the past as compared to this?
Yeah, so I had been on very few other productions besides this. So I was very much, but even so, I was going into this, and when Wren asked me, I was like, well, what do I do? Like, I'm not really sure how this is gonna work. There's no stage on it. There's just a screen, and like, where do I fit in? But my role opened up. Let's just say that. I went from being a stage manager who would usually like make schedules and make sure people arrive on time to still like making sure people arrive on time, but also setting up like Zoom appointments or setting out rehearsal schedules. Also the cues in the background for the actors while they were kind of like doing their own things and making sure things were recorded. And then after post-production, helping Wren stay on track to get it all together, and the music that was added. And I mean, it was definitely more than stage managing a regular production. But it definitely was fun. It was fun to open up and not necessarily fill that very specific role. I got to be more involved than I would ever be in a different production. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love to hear that. Now coming in from the chat, we have a question from Kristen W. And I would like to remind everyone once again, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to put them in the respective chat of whichever platform you're using. We would love to include you as part of our discussion. This question, once again, comes from Kristen W. She asks, why and how did you pick the scenes from the old movies? Kind of opening up that one to the floor.
Yes. So whenever I was going to fill that scene, I was like, okay, the initial idea was kind of, if you're going to share a screen, I always think that even if you're like driving in a car and if somebody puts on music, it's then like, you're trying to convey something, you're kind of trying to convey mood. And I think every time I shared a screen with somebody, I was showing them something that I was saying something more than just sharing the screen. Like I would watch a movie with them, and this would be like, this is my way of trying to reach out to you, and I want to do stuff together. So whenever I was picking at those old movies, there's something timeless and kind of very evocative of like these deep emotions that were held. And so whenever I went through per each person's monologue, which was supposed to get like a deeper in-depth instead of broad view, a very specific view of each character's like troubles, really picking scenes that kind of spoke to those emotions that they were going through.
Yeah. Well put, Wren. Well put. Andrew, I have another question for you. Was this your first time using acting, or have you done a lot of theater in the past?
Oh, I've done a lot of theater. This is I'm active in the Tufts community and everything as well. But when the show was going to start, it was sent out in the email, actually, invitations for like, okay, we're doing these auditions for what we have, which Wren is going to direct, through the TUPS, email chain. And I was here thinking, I mean, I have an internship this summer. I'm too busy. I'm not going to be able to do it. And then Wren reaches out directly to me, and I go, okay, I can't say no to Wren. So
No, you always say that.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
I'll back him up. As a friend of Wren, I'll definitely back him up. You can't say no to Wren.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was handpicked a little bit, but no, yeah, I'm part of the TUPS community, and that's how I know Wren and Taylor. And I mean, I've been friends with almost everybody in the cast. So it was a blast to be able to, like what Taylor said before, is we were all just really reconnecting and seeing each other again for first time in a couple months. So it was really great.
Yeah. What were some of the key differences in acting over Zoom versus acting on a stage?
So the first one is we could see each other the entire time, or specifically ourselves, which is difficult to get used to, being able to see everything you're doing and like correct yourself and critique yourself in real time. I personally am very hard on myself in my acting. So like there'd be things that I do and I'm like, oh God, I shouldn't do that. And like on stage or like whenever we're filming, like actively you can see my expressions be like, oh wait, I shouldn't do that. I should do something else. I didn't like that decision. So, like that didn't make it into the final cut, I don't think. But like, there's this constant need to continue to adjust and redo basically the things that we're performing, because I could have this camera right in front of me that I'm able to watch myself do in real time. So that was a challenge. I mean, there's a lot. It's more nuanced. It's more like filmography, I think, than it is like acting on stage, because you're not trying to be dramatic, larger than life on stage or projecting or anything. So there was definitely a learning curve, I think, for all of us.
Absolutely. Well, personally, I think you handled it great. Also, I'd love to touch on the note that you said, really being able to see yourself. I'm sure as an actor, it's really hard to get out of your head like that. And not only does that apply to some of your acting, but I think I could safely say that applies to everyone, whether you're in a meeting for your work or you're in class or you're on Zoom with your friends. It's really easy to just micro-correct everything that's going on in your head and just want to try to fix everything. But much like Wren's play was able to show us, it's not about that. It's about coexisting. It's about being with each other still. It's about what we have. No, okay, all right. I'll try to stay away.
I liked it.
I'll try to stay away from the puns. Kind of an open floor question, really. How did the student programming board get involved in all of this?
Yeah, no. So whenever we started this, so the play quickly got bigger and bigger as it crossed the summer, which is where I want to shout out Taylor. Because there's one thing about me, I can throw an idea out there, but there's another thing actually getting to said idea. And that's why I always have her in anything that we like do, like always on a panelist, always, because she wasn't like just a stage manager to me. She was the other half of this entire production. And so, yeah, it started out as just a play, and then it was a play with a fundraiser, and then it was a play with a fundraiser that was going to premiere during NSO, and then to help the first years know, and then if we were going to do it during NSO, we needed to talk with SPB. And they were very excited about the project, and they really wanted to make sure that, because the whole point of I think the play was all about connection. And so I wanted to make sure, and this aligned with Student Programming Board, who like values connecting students and creating community. I was like, if we show this, that we're still doing things on campus, TUPS will continue to do stuff on campus for both like virtual and in-person students and still create that community. I feel like this works for both of us. And I think if you could help us get to that next step, that would be perfect. And we worked together and they were amazing. Shout out to Megan, Lillian, Shannon, and Mona, who were there at all of our production meetings we had weekly. So
great. Yeah. Well, I have to say, I have heard some pretty positive feedback on campus coming from some of the freshmen. I mean, more so than maybe striking a nerve within the community, I think it struck a nerve within Trinity, within what it's like to be a student right now. And I imagine this must be such a hard time to be a freshman going through this, but it's again about what we have. Okay, all right. I'll try not to use that one anymore. I promise. I'll cross my heart. Taylor, talk a little bit more about what it was like to put it together to the final cut. I know you said you helped Wren with that, and you don't exactly have a show night. You have an editing bay and a computer and sounds and sound effects and trying to put it all together on the same file. What was that like as opposed to a live performance?
Yeah, so it was, well, first of all, it was a lot. We definitely, so we went through with the actors and we were doing like rehearsals and everything. And then it came time to where we just were going to go scene by scene. And just basically recorded our rehearsals and our like run throughs. And then we had a ton of takes. So like we would do one scene and then do it 6 times. And then I had to go through afterwards. And it was like, I guess 2 hours every rehearsal of just going through and cutting all of these up and correcting all of this other stuff. And we would take scenes and put them together and mesh things together and change sounds here. And we didn't like this, so we cut in that. And it's just like the camera's changing. And so we're also going from like our gallery view, which we see now, to like our speaker views, so we can focus in on people. And it was a lot. It took, I don't remember, Wren, how long did it take? How many weeks did we work on that? It must have been 3, 4 weeks of just cutting video.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. But Wren was amazing, amazing, amazing. He took all of these takes and like he just like he like would wake up, and I'd wake up at like 8 a.m. and he stayed up all night like working on it and trying to get this one scene together. And I was like, just go to sleep. But it was a lot of fun. It just like getting it all together. Me and Wren had this like growing joke because we were watching all the same scenes and the actors going at it, and then you'd notice like their little like nervous ticks that they would do all the time, and each actor had one in every single scene. It's a lot different than watching a play. You know, you do a production and you're doing like a bunch of different showings, and eventually you get to know like the actors, kind of like the way they move, the way they talk. And as a stage manager, you would be running cues in the back, so you would get to know those like kind of ticks. But like seeing it so much and having it filmed, and it was very different, very different. I started to feel for the people who make movies, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been intense, and good on both of you for really pulling this project together. I know it must not have been easy. Legitimately, I only have positive things to say about this. Watching that made me so proud as not just someone who's helping, but someone who's a Trinity student. I mean, to see this quality of work and this quality of talent that you were still able to pull together through the pandemic. I mean, you know, I won't get too sappy, but it really warms my heart. It really warms my heart. Once again, I wanted to encourage people, if you have any questions whatsoever, any comments, anything you'd like for us to discuss, please put them in the chat of the respective platforms that you're using. As well as that, I would love to encourage you to donate through our website, which is www.whatwehave.net. You can use the links in there. And then once again, those proceeds are going to be helping communities that have been directly affected by the pandemic most severely. Now, guys, I know I asked a little bit in the beginning, but I'm going to ask again. What was really the best part about this? Not necessarily about putting together the show, not necessarily about all the technical things. What was the greatest part of just getting to make something like this?
I can go. I would say it's this weird kind of like meta situation that ended up happening. And I might be stealing Andrew's thunder because it's something that I've heard him say a lot just in our time. And it's funny because it just shows that there was this dual kind of timeline that was going on as we were trying to progress through the project. We were also working together and we were all close friends. I mean, I reached out to people I like trusted and who also I knew would feel, because I didn't want it to be just my perspective on everything. So as we were going, it didn't feel the same, and it obviously didn't feel the same because we were all from different locations, all trying our hardest to get this all together. But by the end, we were joking and laughing, and we had made this like really strong connection that I honestly could not have asked for anything better, especially while being, in quarantine. It was nice having that.
Love hearing that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, yes, I have, Brendan and I've talked about this specifically, but there's this feeling as you're watching the show, right? And basically what the show's about is a group of people who are awkward at first as they're kind of interacting with each other, and they made this little group. And then, towards the end, you see them become more comfortable with working with Zoom, with comfortable with each other, et cetera. And as an audience member, you feel the same awkwardness of like, oh, this is a different format than I'm used to. And then as it goes, you get used to it and you get more comfortable with it. So the same thing was happening with the cast of like, we were all familiar with each other in person, but it was very different, as Ren was saying, to be all in like through Zoom and trying to figure out how that was. Yeah, like Ren said it. Yeah, it's very meta of us almost being like the characters of kind of trying to get used to it and getting to know each other better through kind of our pandemic, quarantine selves. And by the end, it was like the ending of the show of us just being much more comfortable, but being much more comfortable acting through Zoom, but also just to interact with each other during the whole production. So,
absolutely, Taylor.
I kind of have the same thing to say about them. I am not usually a tech savvy person. I am not always with technology all the time, and it definitely, I think I had a very hard time at first. I felt very distant from a lot of people. I didn't like getting on a camera and talking to people. I don't even, like, I would rather people phone call me than text me or anything. And it was definitely learning how to socialize on, like, through Zoom. It was interesting. But we got there. It was awkward and you didn't even know how to like really laugh. You don't want to laugh too loud because there's a camera and everything right here. And but then you just you learn and you fall into it. And this kind of, you don't want it to become your new normal, but it kind of becomes your new normal, and you kind of just go with it, and it's the way that you're going to see all these people. And it like learning to connect through Zoom. I know that's our tagline. I know, but I had to say it. It's learning to how to connect with people through this weird kind of platform. So.
And Ren and Taylor won't brag about themselves, so I'll brag about them. I think
please.
that goes to show that the show really does capture like the essence of what it's like, because we were literally experiencing it in person, exactly what we were acting through. And so Ren and Taylor both did a phenomenal job to be able to really like understand through their own experience and interpret the experience of what it's like to go through these quarantine times digitally. So.
Thank you.
Well put. Now, I have to say, I know we've touched on it a little bit, but what was the most challenging aspect overall of having to work through Zoom?
Yeah.
Other than, everything the play is about.
I mean, other than, a global pandemic and everything that's going on, I would say, actually, that's exactly it. I know that's a little bit of stuff of the question. My biggest thing as director was making sure my actors felt comfortable, but not just comfortable, also not like really making sure that at no point during the production was there ever a moment where the content weighed too much on them, because there's really one thing about the thing about capturing stuff is sometimes you can let yourself fall a little too far into it. And so I was like, okay, we're doing a Zoom production and it's very heavy, but before rehearsals I would try and play games with them. We would have moments where we would check in, And so as a director, I was like, I don't want this to be a thing that hurts you. I want it to be a thing that's a form of catharsis for you. And that was my biggest thing.
Wow. Yeah, I love to hear that. Now, I think we're going to get close to wrapping up soon, but one last question I'd have to say. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to happen. I'm not going to force this. I'm not going to try to speak it into existence. I'd just like to say it on my mind. Let's say that Wren gets this opportunity again, and that you could make a sequel, or you could make another program, or you could make another show just like this. Off the top of your head, Andrew Wren Taylor, yes or no, would you do this again?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a definite yes for me. I love working with these people. I'm working with them now. I work with them every day. I would love to, of course.
I would, that if I ever did get any form of option to work with this exact cast again on a project that felt as amazing to work on as it is to also show afterwards, I would love that. That would be amazing. And we were actually all working on another production all together. Definitely not a sequel to this, but
Really?
it just goes to show you how stuff like this works.
Wow. Well, I really look forward to seeing that. Thank you so much to everyone who was able to tune in, everyone who was able to listen, and everyone who was able to help everyone else. I've had such a wonderful time getting to talk with y'all. I know I wasn't a part of this production, but just sitting here listening to you guys speak, listening to the relationships you're talking about, the struggles you went through, and the product you made, I can't help but feel a part of this family myself. I hope I'm not stepping too forward when I say that. And I'd like to think that what y'all have done, everyone at home feels the same way too. It's been a wonderful experience. I'm so happy that I could be here tonight, and I'm so happy that everybody who's listening could join us. It's been a wonderful time. And again, if you would like to make any donations, please do so through the link at www.whatwehave.net. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And I've really loved talking to y'all. Now, in signing off in the traditional Zoom way, I'd say everyone stare at the camera, wave, and awkwardly say bye until the professor decides to stop the call. Thank everyone so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much.